Dear guests, it has been a great pleasure and of course an honor to be here. And I especially like this last panel of experts. I mean, we, the ones who are in the final panel, I mean, we are no more experts than these young people because they know much more than we do about communicating on the internet. Now I shouldn't say we because some of our experts are younger than I am and much more fluent on the internet. And you see, I don't even have an iPad. I just have to use my old PC. But we are on the path to the future in this module. And it is supposed to touch upon the art and sustainability and where we go from here. And I am representing creators from all fields of the arts. An extremely chaotic crowd of people who create by passion. Some say because that's their only way to be. And they make their living from what they create. Some of their creations transform into commodities, and altogether, they and their creation account for a considerable part of the world economy. We should bear in mind that the cultural sector in the EU alone provides 7 million jobs and 2.3% of its GDP, and added the colossal number of 50 trillion euros to the EU GDP annually. On top of that, it has been stated that the cultural sector is one of the main drivers for growth in Europe in the coming years. Trond Torrens, who started yesterday by talking about the necessity of informing the public about the legal ways of accessing music online, and he underlined the importance of government initiatives in order to develop the fresh market that has been emerging, and pointed out that it is a fresh market for all of us. Trond's presentation was the only one of the ones that I've heard in these 2 days that touched directly upon the complex issue of authors' rights, which might be connected with the fact that when brought up, it seems to turn off all the creative powers, all the creative ecstasy that we would so much like to be discussing all the time. But when we prepared ourselves via Skype for this panel, I said I would bring up the topic of authors' rights, the non-sexy topic, but one that is the heart of the agenda of creators, their associations and the collecting societies trying to secure them a fair remuneration so that they can carry on creating. I do hope we have in the audience some of the concerned policymakers that engage themselves in this issue as a part of their day-to-day projects, deal with it politically in terms of legislation, for instance, because we need it. We need those people, those who make the policy, to be with us and to listen to what we're saying and to help us to co-create with us a viable atmosphere and environment for the artists and the creators to make a living by what they do. European countries have a structured system to collect royalties for authors and performers. These structures have been undergoing some changes, having to adapt to a new technology of digitalization and internet-based markets. And within the community of creators in Europe, we have now a forum that consists of the collecting societies and artists' organizations lobbying for the improvement of those structures, asking for changes in directives, so on and so forth. And that's a part of the necessity of our community, but it is, the boring part of what we do. I'm just going to mention 5 or 6 points that the artist community is now discussing with the legislators, with the EU parliamentarians, and we are educating the new EU parliamentarians on these things. And I would mention as the first point, a guarantee for authors that they are remunerated for each use of their works. We need to strengthen Europe's audiovisual policy. We have to consolidate the private copying levy system. We need to preserve Europe's cultural diversity in trade talks, and we have now an ongoing trade talk with the USA, the TTIP discussions, who are too closed and secretive for us, for our taste. We need to refresh the e-commerce directive. We have to address issues like cloud computing and things like that. We have to put a stop to retransmission royalty evasion. And seventh point on my agenda now is rethinking the taxation for the digital internal market. So this is an example of what the artist community is talking about and fighting for with the legislators and the policymakers in all our countries. A necessary threat of the creation, a necessary component of the creative industries, of the creative ecstasy that we have been experiencing here together today and yesterday. So much.